Hi everyone, my name is Erin Tung and I'm a family nurse practitioner here at the Florida Center for Hormones. And today we're going to discuss insulin resistance and why it's important to you. So let's start by understanding where insulin resistance falls on that diabetic scale. Well, anyone who is diabetic was originally insulin resistant. They first started out as insulin resistant, then they moved to metabolic syndrome, and then they moved to becoming diabetic. But here's the really cool thing, okay? If you are insulin resistant, it doesn't mean that you are bound by fate down a path that you have no control over and you're just going to become diabetic and that's the end of it. No. The best part about insulin resistance and identifying it early, like we do here at the Florida Center for Hormones, is that we can reverse it and we can stop you from bounding down that path and becoming diabetic eventually. So let's learn a little bit more about what insulin resistance is. So insulin is a hormone that is secreted by the organ, the pancreas. So the pancreas sits between the stomach and the liver. And what happens is when you eat something, your blood sugar levels rise, and then insulin is secreted in order to bring those blood sugar levels back down to the normal range. And insulin and blood sugar, they're kind of like best friends, like insulin's like that really good friend that goes to the party with blood sugar to make sure blood sugar doesn't have too much fun, doesn't get too drunk, and make sure it gets home safely, right? So what happens is over time, our diets, they have a lot of sugar and carbs in them, and we have a lot of blood sugar levels that keep going up, and insulin's right there to bring it down. And so over time, this is what it looks like, and it goes like this, and it goes like this. And then eventually, because you keep signaling that you need more insulin to control your blood sugar because of what you're eating and what you're drinking, eventually you start to need sometimes double or triple the amount of insulin in order to control that same level of blood sugar. It's kind of like back in 1997 when I paid 97 cents for a tank of gas, and then now I pay $3 to $4 for a tank of gas. I would much prefer to pay 97 cents, folks. And I'm sure the same is true with your pancreas. It'd much prefer to secrete the lower levels of insulin that it needs to control blood sugar levels instead of the higher levels. Now, on the outside, someone who's insulin resistant, you may not notice any symptoms. They may, struggle to lose some weight and not really understand why that's such a struggle for them. But on the inside, this is what's really important to know, because their pancreas is working overtime to keep producing double or triple the amount of insulin that it needed to in order to control blood sugars the way it used to. And so it's really overworked. And so eventually, it's kind of like blood sugar's gone to the party and, had a little too much fun over and over and over. And, finally insulin is just like, listen, I can't control this blood sugar because I need so much insulin to bring it back down to the normal levels. Eventually, the pancreas just puts its hands up and says, I can't do this. The workload is too much. And so then you start to see your blood sugar levels rise. So impaired blood glucose could be one of the very first signs that maybe I am insulin resistant. So again, here at the Florida Center for Hormones, we look at those lab values and we put it together to really get a full picture of what is going on inside your body. It's not just looking at an insulin level. That only tells us one thing. We need to look at 9 different values in order to really get a full picture. Are you becoming insulin resistant? And if you are, we have very specific protocols that we follow in order to get those levels back in the normal range and make sure insulin is resensitized and able to do its job with only the small amount that it used to take originally. So if you have more questions about insulin resistance, or you think you may be insulin resistant, feel free to make an appointment and talk with your provider so that we can discuss this and get you on the path to wellness. Again, that's what we do really well here at the Florida Center for Hormones. Thank you again for listening to this informative video about insulin resistance, and I look forward to seeing you the next time you're in the clinic. Thank you. Bye-bye.